Okay, this is just a quick reminder for my students who may have forgotten about what the RACE method is, and I'm going to go through and show you an example from something that we're doing in class. If you don't remember what RACE is, RACE means the R is to restate the question, answer the question, cite evidence from the text to support your answer, and then explain how the evidence answers your question. Okay? So give me a second and I'm going to choose a question from our homework. Hold on. Okay, so this is the question that I chose. It says, based on evidence, describe Lori's mother's feelings about his first week in kindergarten. What does she say to let you know she feels this way? That is asking you two separate questions. The first question that is asking you is to describe Lori's mother's feelings about his first week in kindergarten. The second question is asking is, what does she say to let you know she feels this way? So you're going to have to race this question twice. One for the first question and one for the second question. So I'm going to take you through step by step to show you how you can get a perfect 4 on your answer, okay? Hold on. Okay, so let's talk about the first part of the question, which says describe Lori's mother's feelings about his first week of kindergarten. Now, what we need to do is go through our story and find when Lori's mother is talking about the first week of kindergarten. So let's switch over to my computer. And it says, on Saturday, I remarked to my husband, do you think kindergarten is too unsettling for Lori? All this toughness and bad grammar and this Charles boy sounds like such a bad influence. It'll be all right, my husband said reassuringly. Bound to be people like Charles in the world. Might as well meet them now. Might as well meet them now as later. Okay, so in the text, you might have gotten confused for several reasons when I read this. The first one is because you don't know what the word unsettling is. If that's the case, we need to use context clues in order to figure out what unsettling means. So let's dig in, all right? Unsettling. The first thing we need to see is there any part of this word that we know. Un means not. I missed the nail. Un means not. So not settling. That still probably doesn't help you. So what we need to do is we need to go back to our text and see what things give us some type of clues as to what unsettling might mean. Okay, so let's see. Is kindergarten too unsettling for Lori? We know that unsettling has to have a negative meaning simply because after the question that Lori's mother posed to her husband, she said all this toughness and bad grammar, and this Charles boy sounds like such a bad influence. So is kindergarten too unsettling? And it has to be a negative or a bad meaning. So do you think that kindergarten is too hard for Charles, maybe? Or maybe he's not in it at the right time? So is it changing him, basically? Because unsettling means he's not settled. He is not adjusting very well. So, do you think that kindergarten is too unsettling? Now that we know what unsettling means, let's go back and try to answer the first part of the question. Based on the R.A.C.E method, the first thing that we need to do is the R, which is restate the question. And here is it restated. Lori's mother feels that. Now that we've restated the question, we need to go back to the text and find the answer. It normally can be about a 1, 2, 3 word answer. It does not have to be long, because when you cite evidence, that's when you're going to explain your answer. So let's choose a word from what we just read that lets us know how Lori's mother felt about his first week of kindergarten. And what I would choose is the word unsettling, because that is the one word that shows how she feels about Lori's first week in kindergarten. So we go back to our answer and we say Lori's mother feels that kindergarten might be unsettling for Lori. Period. So we restate it, which is this. Lori's mother feels that. That's the restated part. We restated the question. Kindergarten might be unsettling for Lori is the answer. Now that we have restated and answered the question, we need to find text-based evidence that supports the answer that kindergarten might be unsettling for Lori. Now let's go back to the text and see if we can find it. She said, all this toughness and bad grammar and this Charles boy sounds like such a bad influence. So that tells us why she thinks that kindergarten might be too unsettling for Lori. So let's go back to our paper and let's put it in a complete sentence so that we can cite evidence from the text that supports our answer. Okay? All right. So in order for us to cite evidence, we need something called a sentence starter. And we still have to use words from the original question, okay? So we're supposed to be describing Lori's mother's feelings about his first week in kindergarten. So in order for us to cite evidence, we need to restate kind of again. So we can say Lori's mother feels this way because, and then we would cite exactly what she said in the text that shows that kindergarten might be unsettling. So all this toughness and bad grammar and this Charles boy sounds like such a bad influence is what we're going to write. And because we're writing a direct quote, we must put quotation marks around it. Okay? So we're going to write all this toughness and bad grammar. And this Charles boy sounds like such a bad influence. So we answer the question. First we have to do is restate the question. Lori's mother feels that. And then we answer the question. Kindergarten might be unsettling for Lori. And then we cited evidence from the text that supported what we said about the answer. So this is cited evidence. So our cited evidence shows why Lori's mother feels that kindergarten might be unsettled. So the last thing we have to do is we have to explain how our cited evidence answers the question. And that is probably the easiest part. So let me show you how to do it. Okay, now the E is very simple. So we also need a sentence starter. So I'm gonna choose something like the things that Lori's mother mentioned explains all of the sudden changes she sees in her child. And that's it. That is how you answer the first part of the question, which is describe Lori's mother's feelings about his first week in kindergarten. Now that we've answered the first part, let's try to answer the second part. Hold on. Okay. The second part of this question is another thing that we need to directly quote from the text. So let me show you what we need to do. Hold on. It's asking you for a direct quote that is asking you exactly what she says. So that's a statement by Lori's mother. So the only thing we did not mention in that section that talks about how kindergarten might be too unsettling for Lori is the question when she posed to her husband, do you think kindergarten is too unsettling for Lori? So that's the answer. So we need to go back to our question. And I'm going to go on the back. And I'm going to show you how to add that in. Okay? Hold on. Okay. Now we're answering the second part. It says, what does she say to let you know she feels this way? So we will start off the next sentence by saying, Lori's mother asked her husband. What did she ask her husband? She said, based on the text, do you think kindergarten is too unsettling for Lori? So we answered that question. So we don't have to restate an answer because we already did it. But we do have to cite evidence. And then we have to explain that evidence. Okay? So in order for us to explain it, we need to tell the person who is reading your answer why what you just said explains why, or lets you know why Lori's mother might feel this way. And that's another explanation. It's the E in the raised. Okay? Okay. Now we need to explain how what she says lets us know that she feels this way. The very fact that she asked her husband lets us know that she notices a change in Lori and that she fears that it might be kindergarten and Charles that is doing it. So the way we would explain it is this. This lets you know that she feels this way because if she thought that Lori wasn't changing or unsettled, she would have no reason to ask this question. I want you guys to remember that the E in the RACE method is your thoughts. You don't have to have the same thoughts as me. Your E only has to be backed up with text-based evidence. And that's it. That's the entire answer. So let's go through it one more time. So the question was, based on evidence, describe Lori's mother's feelings about his first week of kindergarten. What does she say to let you know she feels this way? Lori's mother feels that kindergarten might be unsettling for Lori. Lori's mother feels this way because all the toughness and bad grammar and this Charles boy sounds like such a bad influence. The things that Lori's mother's mentioned explain all of the sudden changes she sees in her child. Lori's mother asked her husband, do you think kindergarten is too unsettling for Lori? This lets you know that she feels this way because if she thought that Lori wasn't changing or unsettled, she would not have had a reason to ask this question. All right, that's it. I know it was a long process, but as we work, it will get easier and you'll be a lot quicker at it. All right? Thanks for watching.